how bad are you off right now? Like, how much worse off are you right now than you were before? I'm going to say pre-COVID, okay? Because COVID was obviously an unprecedented pandemic, blah, 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 blah. But up until that point, which was the very end of Donald Trump's presidency, things were going quite well for all of us. And so new research now shows that many families dipped into their savings or turned to credit cards, buy now, pay later installment programs, or payday loans to pay for groceries last year in 2023.
Man, I don't know how much more time we have on this segment, but this is an economic question more than anything that needs to get answered, and I could take all day because this is what I do. All right, so this is not one point or one problem, or one person that created this issue. It all starts with the money, okay? And effectively and actively, both parties have collaborated in devaluing your money for a very long time. In combination with the Federal Reserve, who works in combination with the Treasury, where they are printing money like it's also going out of damn style. One of the worst decisions that have ever been made in modern history in regards to the money supply was what happened during the COVID situation. And it was not just the Democrats that were in on it. It was these bitch ass Republicans as well. And I have to call them that because what they did was absolutely criminal. And that also includes Donald Trump. And I know there's going to be a lot of our viewers that get upset with me when I bring that up, but he is just as much to blame for this problem because he should not have signed. He not only signed it, he advocated that those ridiculous trillions of dollars spending bills in order to combat this effort, which ended up being a damn sham, he signed off on it. I don't want to hear anything about his hands were tied. He was lean. I'm not trying to hear any of that because now you're feeling the effect. Simultaneously, you had two things going on. And these morons that run this country sat and convinced people that this was okay. Simultaneously, you had people not working, right? You had people being that were in the actual workforce not working.
Forced to stay home.
Forced to stay home in some sort of capacity or limited to capacity in terms of work. They were not being effective workers. And it happened like that in a very, very, very short period of time, right? You cannot treat the economy like an off switch where you just hit everything off. We're going to pause it for a couple of weeks, right? 2 weeks to slow the spread, they said, which ended up being a year and some change to slow the damn spread. And the spread never got slowed in the first place. Curve never flattened or any of that stuff. So people were not working, and on the other hand, you had government spending more money than they ever had spent, and on top of that, we're printing money. I mean, what, over like half of the freaking money supply that was even circulating, it got printed in over the course of like 2, 3, 4 years. That's insane. What the hell else was supposed to happen? You don't feel it, and this is what gets me. And I say that I'm especially pissed off as a business owner because I know what happens when the cost of everything goes up. I have to then spend more money, and because I'm spending more money, I have to charge people more on goods. So when someone's like, "Man, I used to be able to get a comic book for 30 cents way back in the Gap." Well, good luck doing that now, because if I was just charging you 30%, I'd be out of business tomorrow. I quite literally cannot do that. Nobody can, right? And unfortunately, what's going to happen is the solution that these crack smokers are going to advocate is somehow like fixed prices and trying to act like the business owners are being greedy because they're now charging more. So we need to force them to do X, Y, and Z, which is going to, of course, increase the issue, right? It's going to exacerbate the issue, but that's what they're going to do. This is a problem that you don't need to necessarily be an economist to understand why the world is the way that it is. You just don't need to be a damn dipshit. That's it. You don't have to be the smartest person in a room. You don't need an economics degree. You don't need to understand Austrian. Well, you kind of do need to understand Austrian economics, but you don't need to be freaking Murray Rothbard or Mises or Hayek or any of the Friedman for that matter. You don't need to be them to understand what's going on. Your criminal government is robbing you blind. And the problem is that you're too stupid to realize that they're doing it. And worst case scenario, you're actually advocating that they do it. And then when everything goes up, everybody's like, oh, well, what the hell happened? Oh, yeah, we just raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour, so 20. Hell, why stop there? 30 an hour, right? They're paying 30 an hour. Everything's going to be fine. Wait a minute. I also got a 50% raise, but my groceries are also 50% more than what they were before. It's almost like it was a wash because it was. It was a wash. Sarah, you might want to cut my mic off because I can sit up here and go all day long, spitting. I'm doing all kinds of things because this gets me hyped up because it's a problem that is so easily identifiable. But for whatever reason, we look at it and everybody's like, whoa.